Today, a man knocked on my door and asked for a small donation towards the local swimming pool.
Oh, really? What'd you do?
I gave him a glass of water. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio, the next generation. I'm Lane.
I'm Brandon.
And we finally made it to episode 5.
5 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Go us. High five.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
That's more than a month.
That is. What's been your favorite part of the show so far? I put you on the spot. We didn't put this on the paper.
Yeah, we did it.
What's your favorite part that we've done so far? What was your favorite thing we talked about, or your favorite?
Probably, like, the first episode. I can't think of what we actually talked about. Who was the first guest? It was Mama.
Mama was the first.
Yeah. When we talked about, like, the beginning of Howdy, like, because that was the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
So, like, the beginning of Howdy Radio / Inc.
So, Howdy Inc.
Howdy Inc. At that point, yeah.
So that was kind of a
the
double
Howdy show.
My follow-up question was, what's your favorite special guest? But I guess that makes that your answer to that as well, right?
No, my favorite special guest was probably Smoothie.
Okay, gotcha.
Because of the conversations that we had.
Nice.
It's kind of cool.
So this week, our special guest for the second week in a row is Tyler, because I kind of dropped the ball with setting up our special guest for this week, and Tyler really enjoyed being on the show last week. And
Even though how nervous he was.
Yeah, but as soon as we pressed stop, he was like, oh, that was so much fun, and he's like, I want to do my own podcast and all that.
Yeah.
So that was very cool. So he said he wanted to be the first special guest to return for a second time, and then because I didn't quite get everything set up this week, we were hoping to get Kyle on the show, but I just didn't get it going. So I was like, Tyler, we need you. So hopefully we'll have Kyle on next week. Sorry, Kyle, for bumping you another week, but we'll get you on next week, because Kyle will be a lot of fun to talk to, just like Smoothie was, because he does all kinds of that cool stuff too.
That's why he was my favorite special guest, because he had lots, like, in common with me, I guess.
Right, yeah, totally. So, special guest this week, Tyler. We'll be talking to him here in just a little bit. So last week on our show was our, what did we call it? The WrestleMania. Let's see. First annual Howdy Radio, the next generation WrestleMania prediction spectacular. Brother.
Brother is what I wanted. Well, I didn't say brother. I was thinking about saying brother. And then I was like, no, that would kind of really stupid, even though the title is very dumb also.
So last week our WrestleMania prediction show had something in common with WrestleMania. They were both way too long. It was our longest podcast yet. I think it was clocked in at like 37 or 38 minutes or something. And WrestleMania, including the 2-hour pre-show, which started at 5 p.m., and the WrestleMania 33 did not end until quarter after midnight. It was 7 hours and 15 minutes long. So that's too long, man.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Because that's just...
Well, last year it did go to midnight, but there was a good reason for it to go to midnight, because of the match. It was the Roman Reigns versus Triple H match. That was actually a good match. But then the match that made it go over was the Roman Reigns and Undertaker match this year, which was one of my all-time worst favorite matches.
It was a terrible match, but the ending was very cool.
Yes. So he is officially retired.
I mean, they haven't said anything other than all they have said.
He is officially retired.
Okay.
He's done.
Okay.
Undertaker's done.
Yeah, so that was cool. He lost that match, and he, like, symbolically took off his Undertaker ring gear and set it in the middle of the ring, and the hat and the jacket, and then he walked halfway up the ramp and then got sucked into it, and then roll credits, and that was it.
That sounds kind of weird, because if you didn't watch it, then you don't understand what, like, the sucked into the ramp thing. Like, he got, like, taken out.
That was like a little trapdoor.
We knew that he wasn't going to walk that whole entire ramp. The ramp was humongous.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a very cool ramp. It was a very cool stage.
Because they could do so many things with it.
Yeah, it looked really cool. And, you know, I'm glad The Undertaker retired. It was time for him to retire.
It was time for him to retire when he lost the first match.
Yeah, for sure. And then this match...
But then they had to end it with Roman Reigns, not Brock Lesnar.
You know my feelings on... Is that who he fought, was Roman Reigns? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know my feelings on Roman Reigns. I hate Roman Reigns. I think he's a terrible wrestler, and I think there's nothing good about him whatsoever. So I think it's a shame that that's who The Undertaker had to lose his last match to. I know that in the wrestling business, you are always to go out on your back. That's how it goes. It is the old guy's job to lose and to make the younger guy look better by him winning. However, it was a terrible match. It was a terrible ending. The way that Roman Reigns hit his little finishing move punch on The Undertaker, and that's what caused him to lose, I think is a very unfortunate way for The Undertaker to lose his last match. It should have been good. It should have been a good match. Something awesome should have happened at the end to cause him to lose, not just a botched punch to the face that causes a 1-2-3. I thought it was terrible. And I think it's very unfortunate that that's
Undertaker
how
did kick
The
out
Undertaker
of lots of spears,
lost
though.
his last match. I was very
Undertaker
sad
did
about
kick out of lots of spears, though.
Yeah.
But once he kicked out of a couple of them, you could tell that he was done.
Yeah.
Like, after his,
It was a crappy
second
match.
one.
The whole thing was crappy. But then again, I can't really speak on the whole match because I was dozing off while laying on the couch
and I had
during
to
the
yell at
last
you.
couple matches. I thought the first part of WrestleMania, I thought was good. I thought the opening matches were all really good quality, enjoyable matches. But then once they got to their main events, like Triple H and Seth Rollins,
That was a good match. That was a very good match.
I didn't enjoy it. The best
But
part about
Steph
that
got-
match was Steph.
Steph
she was
got
awesome.
taken through a table. That was
Yeah,
amazing.
I love Steph. She's awesome. So,
That was the pub
overall, decent WrestleMania. Not bad. There's definitely been worse. There's been a worse within just the last couple of years.
like that Miz and John Cena match.
That match was stupid. That was just awful. But overall, an enjoyable WrestleMania. But like we've always said, regardless of all the matches, we always still have fun when everybody comes over and watches it. But what we need to touch on here is that last week we did all of our predictions, and we told you who we thought we were going to win all the matches. I think there was 14 matches in total. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that's right. So we predicted all the matches, and we told you this week we would let you know who got the most right. So I got, last week at WrestleMania 33, I predicted 6 matches correctly. Lane, how many did you get right?
6 matches correctly.
We both got 6 matches, so we tied, so that's all right. But only
and
6 out of
we
14, that's pretty low.
We didn't predict all, like, the same ones.
Right.
Like, the ones that you got right was not most of the ones that I had right. There was,
Yeah.
like, the Kevin Owens one, but
Yeah.
there was, like, the Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt match. You said Bray Wyatt, I
Yeah.
said Randy Orton.
Yeah. So, yeah, they weren't the same 6 matches, but we both predicted 6 right. So, right on. We tied. Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
All right, so
nobody won this year.
nobody won this year. We'll be back next year for the 2nd annual Howdy Radio, the Next Generation WrestleMania Prediction Spectacular Brother.
You had to scroll down to make
I
sure
did.
you knew the title.
Yep. So that we'll do that again next year because that's an essential part of Howdy Radio. So I wanted to bring this up to you, Lane. You're a pretty big Xbox fan, as am I.
Yes. I'm
So-
probably a bigger Xbox fan than you.
Okay. You definitely, obviously, play more video games than I do, for
Yes.
sure. So the Xbox, and it's been doing pretty well sales-wise in North America. There's been a couple months lately where it's actually beat the PS4 in
Really?
sales.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so it's doing pretty strong.
Well, they are releasing like a couple bigger games.
Yeah. So, but what I wanted to talk about here was the Xbox sales in Japan. How many Xbox Ones do you think Microsoft sold in Japan in the month of March?
Probably like really not that many. 12.
Okay, it was more than that.
Okay.
But kind
Can I
of
get
not
another
more than
guess?
that. Yeah, go ahead.
1,000.
No. They were, out of all of the consoles that are available, including the Nintendo Switch, and including even the Nintendo Wii U, and
Are they still
including
selling them?
the 2DS or whatever it's called.
3DS, 2DS, whatever.
The Xbox One was at the very bottom of the sales list, and it always is. It always is. They sold 187 Xbox Ones in the month of March in Japan, and that's
also,
it.
it's been out for a while.
No, nobody buys it there. In Japan, the Xbox is basically just not a thing. They don't advertise it. Nintendo and PlayStation is the big one.
Well, Nintendo was generated in Japan, so that's
well, so was
why.
PlayStation.
Was it?
Yeah. So the Switch was the biggest selling one of last month.
course.
It sold 45,000
So it came
units.
out last
yeah.
month also.
It sold 45,000 units. So that's 45,000 people that are just playing Zelda.
Yeah.
The PS4
And 1-2 Switch.
mainly Zelda. The PS4 sold 25,000 units. The Wii U, which is arguably one of the dumbest consoles in the history of video game consoles, sold 449 units last month, and the Xbox One sold 187. However, 187 last month was actually up from the month before, where they sold 99. So they've almost doubled the amount that they sold.
Got 100. If we would have went to Japan and bought one, they would have got to triple digits.
It's just funny how, like, you know, it's just different in Japan as to where, like, I mean, they sell a bunch of video games, but Xbox just has no presence there whatsoever. And that's just kind of funny how that works out. So I thought 187 units in a month was comical enough to bring up on Howdy Radio.
Yep.
So today, Lane, you have your first soccer game of the season.
Yes, it should have been my second one.
It should have been your second one. Yesterday's got canceled because the field was closed.
Because of rain.
Because spring soccer is just full of nothing but
But I love rain.
Yeah, but they don't love messing up the fields, which is stupid because it's a soccer field. Well, why should it be in pristine shape?
I like playing in the rain more than playing like with puddles. Like I like playing while it's raining on me while I'm playing.
Okay. Why?
I just think because the ball doesn't get as wet if it's always like moving while the rain's coming down, and if there's already puddles anywhere the ball moves, it goes like directly into a bunch of rain instead of. Well, also it is scientifically proven that if you run faster, more rain gets on you than if you walk. So, no.
In the rain.
Yeah, in the rain. Yeah.
Right on. So spring soccer started.
Yep.
It's been raining like crazy. What position are you playing this season? Do you know yet?
Left and or right wing.
Okay. So that's an offense position for people that don't know soccer. So you're kind of the front line guy.
Yeah, I am the front line guy.
running down the sides of the field, not the middle of the field.
I'm the crosser.
So you're the guy that's going to run down there, get into the corner, and then give a big boot to cross the soccer ball over.
You guys have seen my crosses. My crosses are amazing.
Yeah, Lane kicks butt at crossing. That's true. So that's the position that he belongs in. So, although there was a possibility this year that you were almost going to be goalie, maybe not almost goalie, but your name was thrown around as being goalie. Well, yeah, because
we didn't really have like a goal. We really didn't have a player that has always been played goalie.
Yeah.
So now like Joe is our goalie, which I'm kind of happy.
Going to be the goalie today?
But yeah.
He better be good. If he's not good,
the only thing that's bad is his height.
He's a little guy.
Yeah, but he's so good.
Good. Do you like spring soccer or do you like fall soccer better?
I like spring soccer.
Why?
Because of rain. That's why.
Even though games get rained out, though, and you have to, like yesterday, like all that crap?
Well, yeah, that was kind of dumb. But also, that shouldn't have even happened. They shouldn't have even closed that field.
Yeah, but they did, and that's not up to us, so.
It should be up to us. If it was up to us, I would have been playing on my field, and we would have won a game.
That's right. Are you going to win today's game?
Hopefully. Well, my birthday present to Douglas was, we're going to win the game, so if we don't win the game, I think he's going to be disappointed.
All right. Well, then you better win.
Yeah.
It's Indian Hill, though. They're a strong soccer team, so.
Yeah, it's Indian Hill.
You're going to have to work your
butt
off to win this game.
I think I should have remembered that it was Indian Hill before I said that.
Now you just have to remember that it's Indian Hill, and you have to play even harder than you thought you had to play.
We've beat Indian Hill before.
All right. So real quick, tell them you said you went to Douglas's last night and you recorded a few videos, and there was some things that you've been working on that you just wanted to tell everybody about real quick.
First, since you were talking about how I made a couple videos, right now I had up to 3 videos I was able to shoot, and they weren't like 4-minute videos. There was one that was just a vlog, one that we did like a parody of a like survival show.
Okay.
And then the third one was... what was the third one? Was a behind-the-scenes kind of thing of the survival kind of thing.
Okay. So those are going to be up on your YouTube channel?
Yes.
Which is what?
Which is Midder316.
How do you spell that?
Midder... no space. I almost said space. 316.
Cool. Is that because of Austin 316?
Yes, it is.
What? Is it?
Yes.
What? No. All right. So that's that. And you said you had something else that you were working on that you wanted to tell people about this week?
So if you watched me and my mom's Facebook Live, you already know about this. Yeah, we did Facebook Live. I am making a book. It's called Guardians of Our Destiny. It is a sci-fi, time-traveling, multi-universe book. Yeah. So...
Cool.
It's really all I got.
How far along into it are you?
I started just a couple of days ago, so I'm only like on page 4. So,
okay.
But it does take a long time.
How many pages are you shooting for?
I don't really like 100, like around that area.
Okay.
So like not like a full length book, but like a book you could read.
It can be like a short story kind of thing.
Like one of those like who was what was books.
Yeah.
Like those, but not having any pictures.
Yeah. Well, right on.
Yep.
I'm sure everybody that listens will want to read it, so let us know when it's done.
It will take a little while, though.
It will. Alrighty, let's get Tyler in here.
Yeah.
Alright, everybody, welcome back to the show. Tyler.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Nothing much.
How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Good. So, this week we were supposed to have Kyle on the show, like I said earlier, but I kind of dropped the ball on that a little bit, so... At game time, we had to hurry up and get somebody, and Tyler was on last week, and when he was done, he said he wanted to be the first repeat special guest. So, I pounded on his door this morning, woke him up, and told him, hey, we gotta go record Howdy Radio. But last week, you thoroughly enjoyed being on the show, right?
Yep.
How did that go? Tell everybody your thoughts on how that went.
It was pretty fun and exciting.
Why?
Because
What made it fun and exciting?
Why,
talking
Tyler?
about the Spider-Man trailer was exciting, and talking about Howdy in general was exciting.
Right on. So you enjoyed it way more than you thought you were going to. And you even said that you thought you might want to come up with your own podcast one of these days. Have you thought any more about that?
No, not really.
All right.
Good to know.
So at least you came up with a good idea. So maybe one of these days look out for a Tyler podcast. So,
at my school, I don't remember when this was, Thursday or Friday, we were talking about the solar system, and that we were talking about, like, Pluto, and, like, how they were trying to find Planet X, and how they think that there was another universe. So then I said, so the multiverse has multiple universes that would have multiple solar systems that keep going with me that would have multiple Earths that would have the doppelgangers of us. And Tyler does not think that theory is true. Why do you think that, Tyler?
Well, some of it makes sense, and some of it doesn't. So, like, the part where there are parallel universes, I can get on board with. But where there's the exact same Earth and the exact same person.
Not the exact same person, the doppelganger. So a doppelganger is not the exact same person. It matters what kind of, like, environment there is to see what they had. So if, you, Tyler, if I'm trying to think of which one to say. If you actually didn't become a vegetarian, then on this other Earth, like Earth 2, I guess, would be different, and it would still be a doppelganger, but it has different personalities because he chose a different way because of the different scenarios that were from the different universe.
So that kind of proves what I was saying of it's not the exact same person.
But it is a doppelganger.
It reminds me of the TV show Fringe. They had, like, the parallel universe kind of stuff going on. And they had, like, the main group of characters were a part of, like, this science team that was, like, figuring out all this stuff on Earth. And then they figured out that there was, like, a second parallel universe that had all of those same people in it. And, well, you get a smirk on your face, but we're still just talking about a fictional TV show.
I know.
This doesn't actually prove anything in the world of
But
anything.
another
But in the
person
second
thinks of this
universe
also.
there, it was the same, like, group of characters, but, like, instead of working for, like, this science thing that was working for good, they worked for, like, this evil company that was, like, ruling the earth and stuff. So I think that's, Tyler, where you're disconnecting from a doppelganger.
Yeah.
It's not an exact copy. It's the same person, but they could have a different role
Like,
of sorts.
with... Cause
But isn't that the definition of doppelganger?
Okay, so then maybe we're using the definition of doppelganger loosely here.
Okay.
Well, a doppelganger is not a version, but a person who mostly not steals your identity, but has the same identity as yours.
Like How I Met Your Mother, there's doppelgangers on there. Have you got to that part yet?
No, neither of us
No.
have gotten that
Oh,
part yet.
Okay, well, never mind then.
I don't think I have.
There's doppelgangers. That ends up being a long-running storyline in How I Met Your Mother.
But, like, for Flash is where I actually got most of this from. Like, they go to an Earth 2, and there is one person who becomes a villain because her fiance dies, and instead of, like, in Earth 1, where she wants to stop the people who try to do that even more, she wants vengeance on the people who did that.
So let's put it this way. Let's get away from the comic books and the TV shows.
Yeah.
Because none of that is real and none of that matters.
But it gives you more of a scientific proven reason that...
There's nothing
No, it
scientific
doesn't.
about a writer that writes a TV show. That's not scientific. That's just not at all.
Especially for
So
a comic
let's
series.
talk real life. That's from this point on. We're not talking about comic books or TV shows. Let's talk about real life. Is there another universe out there that has a carbon copy or a close to carbon copy of the Earth that we live on, with people that are us but not us on those planets? Is that something that you believe exists?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I think I read this once. I don't remember where I read this. But it was like... There was this guy that looked identical to this other person, but he had, like, this, like, futuristic kind of tech. Like, I don't know if that goes more into, like...
Is this a Flash episode?
It's not a Flash episode.
Okay.
It was actually, like,
Like
An
the
article that I
side-by-side
read.
pictures of like a really old person who was like in the Civil War time and a picture of someone now.
yeah,
And
like
how
that,
similar they look.
like that kind of thing. Kind of like Wolverine.
No, stop it. No. You can't keep doing that. We're not bringing any of that into this conversation. Tyler, do you think that that's something that could exist?
I mean, I think it's something that could exist, but I have no idea how you could prove it.
There would have to be like a
Because-
stitch in time or like a black hole to go from one to another
Yes,
type thing.
there was a
Yeah,
black hole
exactly.
in the universe that
Yes, but we
goes to
can't
the other
prove that.
galaxies.
But we can't prove that because
Right.
if you're
That's
in a
never been proven. Like there is like
just
NASA.
like we could be in a black hole right now, but no one can prove it because you
in the
can't
middle of the
escape a black hole.
universe, there was a big black hole that gets you to the other universes that has the other Earth that has the doppelgangers.
But
well,
at the
that
same
is
time,
about
you
as
could be-
fictional as can possibly be because that is not a real thing.
They'll actually,
But at
no,
the same time,
NASA
we could be
has
in a
even
black
said
hole
that
right
they-
now, and we wouldn't know about it because you can't escape a black hole once you're in it.
Well,
There is not like a magical universal black hole subway that you can go into in the middle of the universe that will take you from one Earth to a second Earth to another
Like
Earth.
a bunch
That
of the
is
people
not.
who like are in the UN right now, like they don't all have a secret button that if they press them all at the same time, a black hole opens in the middle of their discussions and they can leave. That's not how it works.
So I mean, I think the universe is insanely vast, and that we don't know really nothing about anything when it comes to how much is actually out there.
Especially with like how people know that stars have become smaller,
Yeah.
which is how people can prove that the Big Bang happened because all stars are going farther and farther away as time goes on.
I mean, we just discovered a whole new galaxy not that long ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would also go into the
But that-
universe, right?
A
would
galaxy
be another
isn't a
universe,
parallel
right?
universe.
Right. It's another bunch of planets that are going around a big star. That doesn't mean that.
That doesn't mean
That doesn't
Hitler
mean
won
that-
World War II on that galaxy.
Yeah.
That's not how
It
it
doesn't
works.
mean that there's three of
That
us.
would be one of the other scenarios that could maybe make you not a vegetarian.
Hitler winning World War II.
No, like I was saying that the different scenarios would make you have different personalities.
Oh, like I
that
agree with you there. Like every
maybe
decision you
if-
make, there's a parallel universe that makes up for the opposite end of it.
Yes. So that's why if you go like with, I'm just saying this. That's also why with time travel, if you go back in time and like see yourself with that consequence, well, you get a consequence for doing that, and you get a different personality because of that, and there's a different like if there's a regular path. For the regular path,
Dude,
This
we've
is
all
just
we've
Back to
all
the
we've
Future.
all seen the
my
chalkboard
God.
drawing on
No,
Back to the Future. You
like-
don't need to replicate that right now.
no, but there would
So
be a
there's
straight
regular,
line.
there's Biff World,
And then if like you would see your doppelganger, there would be another parallel universe that would go.
That's not your
that way.
doppelganger. That's you.
Well,
yeah,
if
a
you go
doppelganger
into
is someone who looks like you.
I
That
don't-
is you. That literally
Yeah.
is 2017 you has just looked 2025
like what, if
in the face.
if you were to not be vegetarian, right now you're a vegetarian, and your line would go that way.
But if I'm
for
not
instance,
a vegetarian,
you're saying
Biff
that
rules the world.
if you're saying that Hitler won World War II, I don't know why this is where we came, then
Because it's a good
there would be
example.
no, it's not really a good example, not really at all. But you would go that way, going to another area
Where Biff rules
of
the
your
world.
of your
So
personality.
you think that every single
because-
time? Hold on, I gotta stop you, or this might go on for 5 hours. So for every decision that you make in your life, like let's decide if we wrap up this show right now or if we let it go on for another 3 minutes. So right now we're gonna decide to let it go on for another 3 minutes. So that means somewhere in an alternate universe, I already decided to hit the stop button, and we've already walked away from the computer, and then something different. So every time we make a decision, there's an alternate universe that's
Yes.
made off of what could have been the other decision.
Yeah, if you wouldn't have said
Right
that
now,
right
I'm
now,
spinning around a micro SD card in my fingers. Is there an alternate universe somewhere where we're sitting here and recording Howdy Radio, but I'm not? I didn't decide to spin around this
well,
micro
if you
SD
wouldn't
card.
have said
Why are you
that,
deciding to spin it around?
yeah,
Why
if
do you have it in the first
if
place?
you wouldn't have picked it up,
Because I like to do something
Then
with
the-
my hands
then-
while we're talking.
Why do
then
you like to do
maybe you
something
would
with your
have
hands?
then maybe you would have been bored or something, and you would have thought of, "Right, I was kind of bored then," and then you would think of something else that would probably lead to another thing that would lead to another thing that would lead
So
to
if there's an alternate universe for every single
another
decision
option.
that somebody makes
Or could have made.
or could have made,
yes,
there is infinite amounts of universes then.
Yes, but not the super cliche Flash Earths.
There's
See,
infinite amount of universes that have infinite amount of.
I don't think I get on
Earths.
board with any of this. I don't.
How?
I think
Did
the
you see what I
universe.
did with my hands?
Yep, and
Yeah,
I watched
yeah,
Back
Doc
to the
did
Future
that.
do it on the chalkboard 30 years ago. So,
It was
I
Back to the Future too. It wasn't 30 years ago.
shut up. So,
Dang.
I can't. And I never really have. I can't really get on board with that. I think that the universe is a huge, vast place, and there might be life somewhere else, and there might be little green aliens running around, or there might be something that resembles humans somewhere else, somewhere. There's gotta be. We're not the only thing that's going on in this universe. That would be stupid to think that. But to think that there's carbon copies of us out there doing something, that's where I lose. I can't get on board with it anymore.
But there was so many different, if you think about it, every single thing that you say leads to something else. So what I just said leads to you doing something, which leads to somebody else doing something, which leads to an option that somebody can make.
Yeah.
So, just like think about it, this is the best thing that I could think of. I know.
After having this conversation, I realize I don't really agree with this much.
Like with soccer.
Okay.
If you don't cross the ball, then we won't get an opportunity to score a goal.
Correct.
If the goalie doesn't save a ball, then it will go in the goal.
But because you didn't cross the ball, why does that mean that there is an alternate lane that did cross the ball? There's zero proof of that.
Because there are infinite options to do something.
Yeah,
I could dribble out, I could cross, I couldn't
There's a million
cross,
different options of what we can do throughout our day. Whether or not I get out of bed at a certain time, whether or not I go pee right when I get out of bed, whether or not I eat breakfast right after that. There's a million different options of what can happen, what we choose to do and what we don't choose to do, or what we could have chosen to do or whatever. But why does that mean that there is an alternate person that is making these other decisions?
Because there are
we have the
choices.
There is totally infinite choices. We
So
are human beings with brains that do some pretty cool stuff. And we can make all of these decisions for ourselves. We can decide to eat breakfast or go to soccer or to cross the ball or to spin a micro SD card in our fingers. But why does that mean that somewhere on this other invisible planet that there's not a micro SD card being spun around or a soccer ball being crossed?
Because there are infinite choices and there are infinite universes. Everyone does something different. That's why there are different personalities with the doppelgangers.
Where's your proof?
And exactly, you can't prove
and
it
don't
because
cite
you're in a
The
black hole
Flash
right
or
now.
Back to the Future or Fringe.
Well, I don't know how not to do it like this. I don't know how to do it without my hands.
You can believe in whatever you want, but I don't think there's anything to back this up, man. I just don't. I can't get on board with it. Tyler, what do you think? Final thoughts?
I agree with you. It doesn't make enough. There's not enough proof.
One day, Lane, they might prove
First
it.
of
You
all,
can come
you
back
weren't
to
even
Howdy
in this
Radio
one.
episode 5, and you can be like, I told you so. But I don't know.
First of all, I'm pretty sure it's just me and Tyler in the argument at first. And then you got such into a big point, and you changed his opinion in it.
All right,
Again,
so everybody,
another option of him doing that changed your opinion on it.
So there you go. So anybody that's listening to our show, leave us little comments like on the YouTube page or something, and let us know what you think about multiverses. And let us know what you think. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week. Tyler, thank you for stopping back by again, man.
Thanks for having me.
That could have went on forever. So that's cool though, because I like that you and your brother can get into conversations like that and just go with it. So, well, scientific research, or you watch too many TV shows about comic books. One or the other. Which is it?
Scientific research, and I watch too much.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.